And you can understand why when the guys were dressed like this and they'd go into forfar and they go into our broth and they'd invariably get into fights because they think you're poking fun at them. And but we don't allow that. We actually shuttled them into forfar. And I don't know what I wasn't thinking. I was going to say I can't understand what I was thinking. Well, I was not thinking because that didn't last too long. It lasted 2 or 3 years, and I told you about the guy that looked like Indiana Jones, and some girl grabbed him by the nuts under his kilt and said, "I fancy a fook in the toilet." That part's okay. I mean, but the other guys in the bar didn't fancy that at all. Well, who's leaving earliest in the morning? What time?
We're out here today.
Oh, 5?
7.
But some people leave it to 2:30, my seminar. A.M. 2:30 a.m. They didn't go to sleep. I say that, I don't know. I'm not up at 2:30, I assure you. Well, you guys, my goodbye speech isn't a goodbye speech. It's a, go out and fucking kill them and rip their head up and shit down their neck. I can't begin to tell you how little competition there is. I mean, I can't begin to tell you. I know you hear me flapping my lips, and I think Bert said it when I said that because we switched the seminar to emphasize the kids, and even though they don't use the right fucking words. It's beyond my comprehension, but the irony of it is you don't have to know the words. I mean, the guy that took the $31 million check, he still didn't call it the right shit. And because you don't need to. But as little as you know, vis-a-vis the low-hanging fruit, motivated seller, 3 moving parts, you know infinitely more than the competition. And the only competition you're going to have is once in a while you're going to bump into another one of you. And we haven't had any real disagreements. He stole my board member. It's once in a while you get that, but not very often. I mean, you just don't. And even though a preponderance goes into healthcare, you'd think after all this time that they'd bump into each other, but they don't. Well, and because a majority of them that are in the healthcare are in the United States, and there's tens of thousands of potential sellers, motivated sellers, and so you just don't cross paths. I mean, you can be in the northeastern United States, 5 of you all at the same time doing the same thing, and you're not going to bump into each other. And because there's literally hundreds of banks that fund these kind of deals, and there's 4 or 5, 6, 8, or 10 banks that fund the SBA especially, or specifically I should say, you're not going to cross paths. And you will see how bloody easy it is. And like Roberto, who did it in 10 months and turned his $20,000 investment in himself into $20 million. And unlike some of you in this room, he was generous enough to give his team $10 million, which I can count maybe on no fingers in this room that they would give $10 million. The guy that just laughed first, I know for a fact. Maybe we'll have a $2,000 dinner. You'll give him a dinner.
That's pushing.
That's pushing it. $2,000 dinner. That's a lot of McDonald's in South Florida, huh? But it's really good, and you're fortunate that you're the second seminar to be able to see the Josh Kim role plays, and it's that simple. It's just that simple. And many of you we'll see in the Zoom calls, it's possible for somebody to get a deal done before the year end. It is. I mean, you go like hell, get your board, blah, 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 blah. And because the motivated seller, when you tell them we gotta close this deal in 9 days, somehow it gets done. Somehow. It's like, if I said, and which actually motivated a couple of you in this room, if I put a gun to your kid's head, not your wife, you notice, I don't say your wife, and I said, you got 5 days to come up with this much money, somehow you come up with it. Your old lady, she was okay, she gave me some kids, but that's about it. And but it's right now, the second half of the first term of the Trump train is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and and you'll still be out there running and gunning when the president gets reelected again. And it's, again, I beg of you, you don't want to be in a position where what were you doing when the greatest transformation of wealth was fucking happening? And you're less likely to be like that because you come out of here. But you will talk to people, not now, because you don't need to talk to anybody that's not involved in the program, in your program, in your dream team. But 10 years from now, they're going to say, well, how did you do all this? What differentiated you? Where was I when I was listening to all these other podcasts and all these other guys? And they mean right. They're not trying to fuck you up. But at the end of the day, they're selling something. And either at the beginning, the middle, and for sure at the end, or maybe all three of those places, they're selling something in that information. When I speak at these places, especially the universities, the kids understand the system's fucked up. Wealth, risk, reward, not. Meaning the days of working 30, 40, 45 years at a company and having enough money to retire are gone. They're long gone. And but I drink you. For those of you that haven't signed up for LinkedIn, you should. You should connect with me. Twitter. You should do away with all the other social media, and keep yourself immersed. One of the constants that you heard from the people is that they were immersed with my stuff from the time they got up in the morning to the time they went to bed at night. Now, I told you when I listen to myself, I make myself cry. I said, God damn it, what a smooth motherfucker. I mean, the words flow off his lips like baby diarrhea shit. I mean, but you may not cry when you hear me. Some of your significant others, if you turn it off headphones, loudspeaker, they'll cry because they're getting sick and tired of hearing me. But as soon as you close the deal and they start to see a meaningful impact in the change in their lives, the rest is history. And then once you get your significant other's foot up your ass to go out there and rape, pillage, and plunder in a legal, moral, and ethical way, and again, morality and ethics kind of swing to and fro, you're going to make a lot of money. But here's to you. I want you to go out there and fucking rip their heads off and shit down their fucking necks. Run to boo.
Can we say something then?
Absolutely, you can. Well, I would be surprised if you did. I would be surprised if you didn't.
Exactly. I'm going to speak on behalf of everybody, right?
Yes.
We can always make more money, but we don't have more time.
Correct.
With that being said, we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers.
So Dan, which part of Scotland is this from?
Cam, where does our whiskey made?
In Scotland.
I know, but where?
No, it's not. It's just a blend, 12-year-old.
Yeah.
A big lecture on the Scots, so I'm like, okay, let's use our knowledge.
Yeah. But you're right. But again, I'm not being Saint Teresa, because I put my money on the bitch when she wasn't a saint. But because you're making me the best there ever was. So I drink to you. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Everything to earn, though. That's what I was thinking when I learned this. You haven't heard this?
No, you completed the training. Not everybody completes the training. We have people that leave in the middle of the first day. We have people in the middle leaving. Well, some people get thrown out by the police, but that's rare. And we have people that don't show up tonight. They're all here, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I said, but and some people don't participate in the first Zoom call. Don't even turn in the first weekly report. That happens. On the way home, they figure out, I've got the tools. I don't want the accountability. I don't want Peña breathing fire down my neck. We had a Vietnamese couple that, although they did come to the graduation, they wrote me a very nice letter. English is not certainly their first language. And they had already been successful. They had sold nail salons for about $5 million. And it was a tax-free exchange, 1031 bullshit anyway. And so they had $5 million. And they were going to go back to Vietnam, which $5 million is about $4 billion. And they were going to use QLA to take advantage of their Vietnamese brothers and sisters. But I mean, but you're all here, and you're going to leave tomorrow. I still have a few people to talk to tomorrow in the one-on-one. But you will. I can't say it strong enough. There's no fucking competition. There just is none. And when you use the scripts and you put the bankers on their back foot, I mean, and they start perspiring and shaking even, you won't believe it. It'll be, I don't like to use the word deja vu, but I mean, it'll be like you've seen it. And you've heard, you have the benefit of the most recent, some of the best deals I've seen in 25 years. Guys from Hungary, or not guys, the guy from Hungary, as I call him, Josh, Roberto, who turned 20 grand into 20 million. The last hardcore from December, 19 deals in 10 and a half months since they left. I mean, you've seen it. And as Bert in his infinite Italian wisdom said, they can resonate because you've seen guys, regular guys. And the biggest challenge I had when I first started doing this 25 years ago, although I grossly underestimated it, as I turned $800 into $500 million, more or less, and everybody said, so what? Okay? And now I've calculated that if you're 5% as good as I am, and everybody in this room's got the capability of being 5% as good as I am in the QLA process, you'll be a billionaire. You'll be a billionaire. I mean, and I know billion is chump change now. It ain't what it used to be. But most of you will be involved in bricks and mortar of some kind and not the internet. A couple of you are prone to the internet. But however you make it, I don't give a fuck, really. I mean, as long as it's legal and then moral and ethics, you can talk to Father Murphy about, but that swings in the wind. But guys, you have the world by the ass right now. And even though you're getting out of the seminar late in the year, I mean, you can drive to the whip. I mean, you just can. And pretend one of the kids that has been successful, and this is what Roberto did, he pretended every month was December 31. I neglected to mention that, but I'm glad I thought of it just now. He pretended in his mind, remember the subconscious doesn't know you're full of shit. He pretended every month was December 31. And he drove himself. And he still, even though he did it in 10 months, and that sounds fast, he said, I could have done it in 4 or 5. So anyway, drink a little more, and we're going to go out and take a picture.